All right, welcome to the Comic Book Shop of Doom. I'm your host. If you're underage, if you're under the age of 13, please get your parents' permission before you watch this video. I try to keep it clean, but I don't want to mess up and get a fine from the government or YouTube. Okay, the subject here is going to be what if the Alliance of American Football and the XFL, Vince McMahon's Extreme Football League, merged. They had talks about a year ago, but it didn't go anywhere. Vince didn't want to merge with them. Charlie Ebersol was the one that came up with the Alliance of American Football. He was Vince McMahon's partner, Dick Ebersol, the guy that used to run NBC Sports. It's his son. So he did that documentary on ESPN about the XFL, and then he wanted to buy the XFL from Vince, the trademarks, and he wouldn't give it to him. So the AAF, Alliance of American Football, it folded because they didn't have enough money. So they had 8 teams. So in Atlanta, Georgia, they had the Legends. Birmingham, Alabama, they had the Iron. Memphis, Tennessee, the Express. Orlando, Florida, the Apollos. Tempe, Arizona, the Hotshots. Salt Lake City, Utah, the Stallions. San Antonio, Texas, the Commanders. And San Diego, California, the Fleet. Okay, XFL 2020. So this was the newest incarnation, and it folded, and Vince McMahon filed for bankruptcy on this. It's for sale right now. And I don't know where the AAF bankruptcy is either, but they stranded players. The XFL folded, and there's lawsuits now from Oliver Luck, who was the president of the league, and he wants $20-some million from Vince that Vince McMahon doesn't want to pay him. So here's the teams that they had. They had the Dallas Arlington team in Texas, was called the Renegades. Houston, Texas had the Roughnecks. Los Angeles, California, and also Carson, California. So they played in Carson, but they were billed as from LA, the Wildcats. Seattle, Washington had the Dragons. Washington, D.C. had the Defenders. New York, but they played in East Rutherford, New Jersey, because New York is too expensive to play there. There's no property, the Guardians. St. Louis, Missouri, the Battlehawks, and Tampa Bay, Florida, the Vipers. And then you have over here the 2001 version of the XFL. This folded after one season. The Birmingham, Alabama had the Thunderbolts. Chicago, Illinois had the Enforcers. New York, New Jersey, same thing. They played in East Rutherford, New Jersey. They had the Hitmen. Orlando, Florida had the Rage. Las Vegas had, in Nevada, had the Outlaws. Los Angeles, California had the Extreme. Memphis had the Maniacs. And San Francisco had the Demons. So this is a what if video. What if the AAF and the XFL merged and they were trying to do some competition for the NFL? Forget being a feeder system to the NFL. I would rather be competition. You'd make more money. Forget them. Just say, hey, start recruiting guys. Sell team franchises to people, but I would break this up if I was booking this. I would have an Eastern and a Western conference. So I would do 32 teams, possibly more, because then you could compete with the NFL. So I would have a team in Detroit, Michigan, Indianapolis, Indiana, Chicago, Illinois. So they already own the trademark on the Enforcers. I would bring back all the teams that these leagues had and just merge them. So you already have a trademark for the Enforcers. Then Minneapolis, Minnesota would get one. Milwaukee, Wisconsin would get a team. New York, I would do the Guardians. And New Jersey, I would split the thing and put the Hitmen there. So there's always going to be a New York, New Jersey rivalry. So you could get some heat with those games. Boston, Massachusetts, and Charlotte, North Carolina would need teams. Washington, D.C. would have the Defenders. New Orleans, Louisiana, I would do a team. Tampa Bay, Florida, I'd have the Vipers again. Memphis, you got one of two names, either the Express or the Maniacs, and you could do one team there and move another team to another city. Atlanta, Georgia, you got the Legends. Orlando, Florida, there's 2 teams. The Apollos or the Rage, so one would move. And then Birmingham, Alabama has two teams, the Thunderbolts or the Iron. And then I would look into, if you wanted to have more cities, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Toledo, Ohio, and Miami. and maybe Cleveland, Ohio too. But everything would have to be even then. So, okay, we would do Cleveland, Ohio. Put that down. Okay, then the Western Conference. Okay, everything west of the Mississippi River. St. Louis, Missouri, we got the Battlehawks. I would do a team in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I would do a team in Kansas City, Phoenix, Arizona, Roswell, New Mexico. That would be different. Have a team out there. Call them the UFOs. Salt Lake City, Utah, the Stallions. That was a team there. So you're bringing that back. Tempe, Arizona has the Hot Shots. San Antonio has the Commanders. Dallas has the Renegades. Houston has the Roughnecks. LA has either the Wildcats or the Extreme. So one team stays, one team moves to another city. San Diego, California has the Fleet. San Francisco has the Demons. Las Vegas has the Outlaws. I would put a team in Portland, Oregon. And Seattle, Washington has the Dragons. And then I would look into these cities. Bismarck, North Dakota. Anchorage, Alaska. You might be able to draw some there. Honolulu, Hawaii. You could draw something there. And Boise, Idaho. And then because we added a team over here, you'd have to add another team over here. So you'd have to look over your cities. But this is what I would do if somebody bought both leagues in bankruptcy court with the trademarks and the names and everything. You could bring back a new football league. I would play from February. I would do like a 6-month season. I would go from February to August, maybe into September as your championship game. So that ends right when the NFL starts up. So you're basically doing the reverse of the NFL. And I wouldn't do a partnership with them. It's all or nothing. And I would have streaming apps. They got gambling apps for the AAF was looking into doing gambling on their teams. So that's wide open if you have more teams to play. And I would change up how the only thing I don't like about the NFL is the same teams play the same teams. So I would mix this stuff up a lot more. And maybe instead of 16 games a year, I would do 20. So, you'd have like maybe a 24-week season and every team gets 4 weeks off, buys. So that's what I would do if the AAF and the XFL merged. It's different and I think it could work. Everybody have a good night.